I'm so excited to be here with you all today to talk a little bit about what I do behind the fur and the foam.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Raccoon's Den. I'm Bandit, and today I'm joined by Birds and BCB as we're going to be interviewing a special guest on the topic of fursuit making. Hey guys.
Sup, Bandit?
Happy to be here.
It's kind of hard for me to figure out where to start exactly on this topic because I don't own a fursuit, but I have worn them before. And it's left me thinking about the work that goes into them and how those who wear them adjust to moving around in them.
Not to mention the maintenance and buying the fabric, the duct tape dummy.
So today's guest is a fursuit maker who's going to tell us a bit about their experiences with their work and share some advice for those out there thinking about making their first fursuit. Please welcome Casmut. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. I'm so excited to be here with you all today to talk a little bit about what I do behind the fur and the foam. I hope that you get to learn just a little bit about what fursuit making is all about.
So for everyone out there, Casmut is part of the duo that runs Top Dog Studios. They're the con-chair of Anthro Expo, a Twitch affiliate, and a content creator for Animal Royale. What were you doing before you started taking commissions for fursuits?
So before I was a full-time fursuit maker, I worked a plethora of day jobs, from seasonal positions to fast food to even working as a shipping associate for a novelty toy company. Throughout the time I worked in these jobs, I had delved into the furry community more than I already had as some sort of escape from the stress that these jobs brought me. I had met fursuit making friends and was so in awe about what they do and how it was made. And one day in 2018, I decided to try it myself. After I had some issues with my health, I had to lose my day job, and I realized that my last hope was to just try fursuit making full time, and honestly, it was the best decision I ever made for myself. It's been such a crazy journey, but it's been absolutely worth it.
So, what was it like making your first fursuit ever?
Oh my gosh, it was scary, it was stressful, and wanting perfection immediately from something that was not going to be perfect, no matter how hard I would try. I had many sleepless nights and many mental breakdowns over it, I'll be honest, but I was lucky in that I had a fursuit maker friend at the time who helped guide me in the right direction and let me borrow their patterns and taught me the ropes of hand sewing fur. My first fursuit, although it had many mistakes, was such a learning experience for me, and honestly, for a first time, it didn't turn out that bad. Every trial and error, every hardship felt worth it when I got to see the fursuit complete and ready to wear. Raz the Tiger is still a suit that exists out there in Texas, being worn every so often, and it's nice being able to see that my first fursuit still gets the love that it deserves.
What have been some of the trickier parts of fursuit making that you've learned through experience?
Fursuit making is so unique in the fact that a lot of it just doesn't make sense from an outside perspective. How does that fur wrap around somebody's body so perfectly? How does the head feel so cozy? All of these questions can be answered with time, practice, and many, many tutorials. Think of fursuits like going to a clothing store. Going to a regular brand store would be like buying a pre-made and seeing shirts and pants in standard sizes. Going to a tailor would be like buying a custom fursuit and having your clothing custom fitted to your exact measurements. Custom fursuits require a lot of asking the client for their sizes, ensuring everything fits right to that client, and creating a custom tailored product just for them. I think customs are the trickiest part of fursuit making because of those factors, making everything fit just right for them, regardless of the character's design. With a lot of practice and experience, you learn to really nail the sizing perfectly for each and every client. And I highly recommend, as a fursuit maker, to try to make a custom fursuit for yourself, just to see how it is making custom work.
What's a favorite among your previous works and why?
Okay, now you're really putting me on the spot. You know you would never tell your kids which one is the favorite. That's how an all-out battle ensues. My current favorite out of every single fursuit I've made and had the pleasure of making, it would have to be Cinnamon the Cocker Spaniel. She was our very first Digidegrade suit that we completed back in late 2022 in time for MFF. And I remember my partner and I getting so excited seeing it all come together piece by piece, stitch by stitch. My favorite fursuit answer could absolutely change at any point because fursuit making is a constant journey towards improvement, and each suit does get better than the last.
What are some tips you would give those trying to keep their fursuit in the best condition as possible?
Think of your fursuits like delicate clothes, or maybe even a dress or a tuxedo. Your fursuit doesn't need to be washed after every wear, but it should still be washed between conventions. Your fursuit is an expensive luxury item, and you'll want to keep it lasting as long as possible. My recommendation would be, when you're not washing your fursuit, to use a disinfectant spray between wears to kill any bacteria and smell from being a sweaty animal. When washing your fursuit, hand washing is the most effective, although you can use a washing machine on a delicate cycle with no heat. Any heat on your fursuit will damage the fur fibers permanently. So I recommend no heat at all, regardless of whether you are washing or drying your fursuit. Most fursuit parts can be machine washable, but the head should always be spot cleaned, and I can highly recommend the Bissell Green machine for that. You can find it on Amazon, you can find it, I believe, at pet stores too, because it is like a pet washing machine kind of thing. So highly recommend that. No matter what, you should always consult your fursuit maker on the best ways to clean the fursuits they make for you, because each suit maker makes a different product, so your own maker will know what's best for keeping your suit clean and long-lasting.
Final question. Do you have any advice for those who are looking into fursuit making?
So, I was fortunate to have a friend who already knew how to make fursuits when I started, so I can go to them for help. My recommendation, though, would be lots and lots of tutorials. YouTube has a plethora of fursuit makers uploading tutorials and time lapses of their work that include pointers on how to make fursuits from the ground up. Some fursuit makers will even host panels at conventions teaching you the basics of making your own fursuits. Never be afraid to ask questions to any fursuit maker you may know, but be sure to not rely on fursuit makers to give you everything. Do what research you can on buying the right fabrics, using the correct materials, and all the prep work you will need to make your very own fursuit. Fursuit makers are always happy to help guide new paws in the right direction.
Alright, that's it for this interview. Thanks again for joining us, Casma. It was great having you here.
And it was such a pleasure to be invited onto the Raccoon's Den. You can find me on my website at top-dog.studio, or as Top Dog Studios or Casmut on a multitude of social media platforms. I can't wait to see what all of you create on your fursuit making endeavors, and I'll see you at a convention near you.
So before we head out, we've got a question for all of you.
If you're a fursuiter, how long have you had yours, and what's the story behind it?
And if you don't have one, who's your favorite fursuiter and why?
Share with us in the comments below.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like.
Want to see more? Click subscribe and the bell.
We'll see you next time on the Raccoon's Den. Later!